Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of my Out of the Park baseball series. I'm Jeremy Frank, also known as MLB Random Stats on Twitter, and today it is February 17th, 2008, and we're looking at free agents, and Barry Bonds is a free agent. In real life, after his 2007 season, in which he had a 480 on-base percentage on 1,045 OPS and led the league with 132 walks, he was blackballed from baseball, and even though he was willing to take a minimum contract, no one wanted to sign him. But today, let's change that, and let's see what the end of Barry Bonds' career would have actually looked like if he were allowed to play it out. So we're in free agency. Barry Bonds has been unretired. As you can see, he's at a 3.5 overall rating. His ratings are just based off of what he did in his last season. So he's not a good fielder. But I mean, who knows? He could be a very good DH for someone with his batting abilities. So we're the commissioner right now, and so we're just gonna let we're in February 17th, so we're gonna sim and see who wants to sign Barry Bonds and what they're gonna do with him. So it's not my call if he gets signed or not. If he doesn't get signed, that would suck for the video. But hopefully he does get signed. So I thought that an American League team would end up signing Barry Bonds, but it turns out the Cubs took a chance on him, and they're moving him to right field. I'm not sure how he is in right field, but we'll have to see. So it looks like for some reason when I made Barry Bonds, he was accidentally a right fielder instead of a left fielder, so that was my fault. But the team could adjust him depending on where I made his left fielding stats better in defense and his right fielding stats worse. Maybe they wouldn't have signed him, but oh well. It's the same difference. Get out of here, Piazza. So we will simulate until opening day, and then simulate the season. Hopefully he's there for the long haul. I really think that Barry Bonds could have played till he was 50, and so, but at least an above average hitter. His eye was just so good. Obviously, he was very feared because of the slugger he was, but a lot of people underrate how good he was in terms of play discipline. Soriano's hurt, but not for that long. So Barry Bonds is opening the season in the 3 spots. He only has 32 defense, but yeah, 32 in left and 23 in right field. So not really ideal. But in spring training, he had an 1165 OPS, so maybe he'll be fine. What's his contract look like? He's on a 1-year, $17 million deal. So we will simulate the season, and I'll come back to you. Where am I going here? I'll come back to you when the season is over. So here we are at the end of the season. The Cubs did not make the playoffs, but Barry Bonds was second in the National League in OPS. I wasn't sure if it was the majors or not. He was tied for third in the majors in OPS. Let's see what kind of season he had. Let's go to his batting stats. So he had a 468 on base and a 559 slugging. Batting average went up a little bit. He walked 153 times. He played 154 games. I put him with average health, even though it might have been a little bit lower than that given his recent career. He had 37 home runs. He's up to 799 in his career. He had 6.1 WAR. A great season for Barry Bonds. The Cubs won 93 games, but they did not make the playoffs. The Cardinals make it, Marlins make it, Dodgers make it, and then the Braves get the wild card. Remember, there's only one wild card back then, and the Rays make it in the American League. So we'll simulate the playoffs until the playoffs end and see who wins the World Series here. 3 sweeps in the first round, and the Braves win the 2008 World Series 4-1. And remember, so the transactions will not be like they did in real life here. So free agents could go to different teams, which is fun. And I don't think we'll be simming. I don't know how long we'll be in this, so it's not like things will get too wonky. But trades could happen. This isn't going to happen exactly how history did. But Barry Bonds should be a free agent now. We'll have to simulate. I'll simulate until the awards are done, and we could see if anyone won an award, because it's possible that, or not anyone, if Bonds won an award, because it is possible that Barry Bonds took home a Silver Slugger. I don't think he won MVP. I think Pujols is going to get it. but I think it's possible that he took home a silver slugger here. So I don't think he won a gold glove. Nope. I don't know where he was playing, but he didn't win either one of them. Will Omen, the closer. Oh, I thought that was Cy Young or second. Platinum stick for the American League, not a problem. National League, Barry Bonds gets it in right field. He had a very good year. Rookie of the Year goes to Chris Davis on the Rangers. And Hideki Kuroda won it for the Dodgers. Tony La Russa and Scott Baker won. Or no, Scott Baker. Excuse me. Bob, I don't even know how you say his name. And Tony La Russa won Manager of the Year. Scott Baker won Cy Young. Chad Billingsley won it in the National League, even though he only had a 14-10 record. American League, Manny Ramirez wins the MVP, and Pujols wins it in the National League. Bonds finished like 8th or something. Still a very good season. He still was a good player. That's what I'm saying here. But he should be a free agent, so we'll simulate until the winter meetings are over here and try and find if he's still a free agent, and if he is not a free agent, where he ended up landing. So we'll go to free agency here. And so it looks like he's not here. So did he sign? Let's look at the players we wanted to look at. I think he might be, I don't know what position he is in this. I don't think you can search by name here. So we'll go to MLB player list. Filter, clear filter. Okay. Find Barry Bonds here. Barry Bonds is a 4-star, and he's on the Minnesota Twins, where he presumably is going to designated hit. Is that a thing? Designated hit? He got a 1-year deal, $13.8 million with some MVP awards or bonuses and stuff. But we'll head over to the Twins and look at their lineups. So Bonds is the designated hitter for the team, which is probably the logical spot. Even though he is their best left fielder, he's not good defensively. He's the worst defensive player on the roster. He's under a 22 defensive rating from 0 to 100, which makes sense. I mean, he's a 44-year-old man, big guy, but we'll see how quickly his statistics or his numbers diminish and stuff. So here we are on opening day. Barry Bonds, as you can see, is the starting designated hitter. And when we go to a National League ballpark, he is the left fielder. So obviously they are going to overlook his defense enough to let him play the outfield. But yeah, we will simulate the full season and get back to you to see how Barry Bonds ended up doing. So here we are at the end of the regular season. Barry Bonds' Twins finished 87-75 and did not make the playoffs, but he had another great year, finishing with an 11.01 OPS on the season. He had a 480 on base percentage. He played a little in AAA. He must have been hurt. He only played 133 games. He still had 153 walks and 41 home runs. Jeez. I mean, this is 44-year-old Barry Bonds. He's now 45 at this point. That was his 44th season. He has 840 home runs at 1052 OPS, and he's not slowing down. I mean, it's all just going to depend on when he decides to retire naturally. But if you're Barry Bonds, I mean, you're still dominating baseball. I mean, he's going to be in consideration for MVP. I think he had 7.1 WAR. We will simulate until the playoffs end, see what happens. Here are your playoff teams. It'll be the Cardinals versus the Rays in the playoffs, and the Cardinals win the World Series over the Rays. Thank you to Albert Pujols and Yadier Molina, the top two in the National League in batting average. So, what are we going here now? So we want to go to the salary arbitration hearings just to see who won awards. I'm pretty confident Barry Bonds will win a Silver Slugger, but I think Manny Ramirez might be the MVP winner. I don't know. We'll have to see. Let's check our league Where is it? I can never find anything in this game. The league news listing. So the Platinum Stick Award, he's in the American League now. Barry Bonds wins it for the DH. What about Cy Young, Zach Greinke, and Tim Lincecum? Manny Ramirez wins MVP. Bonds finishes 6th. It looks like not even a first place vote. It was a pretty easy win for Ramirez. The Red Sox had 3 of the top 4 players, which is very nice for them. The National League, they had Pujols finish number 1. So we will simulate. Barry Bonds should be a free agent now. Let's go to free agents. I guess free agents didn't start yet. We'll simulate until the winter meetings end and check to see where our Barry Bonds is at. I'm sorry if the audio sounds weird right now. I'm not sure because I can't hear it over. It's been weird in a couple videos. It's probably echoey. It's probably good enough, though. It looks like Barry Bonds is signed somewhere. So let's find him. And also, you may wonder why I do a lot of videos on Barry Bonds. Well, I've done 2 of them so far. And you can agree or disagree if he should be in the Hall of Fame or not, or if what he did was right or not. But at the same time, one thing is for sure, and that is that he was a hell of a baseball player. And I think it's really interesting to see these what-ifs because of how what a statistical anomaly he was. So Barry Bonds is a 4.5 star. Now he is on back with the Giants. Wow, that's really hilarious because 1, he's a terrible fielder. Like he's probably one of the worst fielders in baseball. And 2, they didn't want to sign him after his 2007 season, but now he's back with the team. That's very, very exciting stuff. I want to see how he rates in comparison to other players. So let's see. I want to go view fielding ratings, position all batters, and can I go to all outfielders? Yeah, all outfielders. Who has the worst outfield range? So he's not Barry Bonds. He's not the worst, but he's pretty darn bad. He's one of the worst. He's not the worst. He's just one of the worst. I mean, he's 45. I don't know why you'd sign him if you're a national team. I guess it's because he's one of the best hitters in baseball, but at the same time, he really can't field. He's an outfielder, or he's a designated hitter. Excuse me. And they're playing him in right field. They should be playing him in left field, especially with how wonky right field is at San Francisco. But that's probably my fault for messing up a little bit. Let's go to their lineups. So he is their starting right fielder, which is good to see. He doesn't really have any competition in their outfield. He's their best player overall. So we'll simulate until opening day of next season. So here we are, opening day. Barry Bonds and Buster Posey are teammates. I don't think they ever were in real life, which is kind of funny. 2 generations of Giants players get to play on the same team because Barry Bonds didn't get blackballed in this scenario. What are Bonds' ratings look like? He still has 100i. His power is dropping quite a bit. That happens when you get to 45. He's down to 4 stars, but he's still got 100i. He's 76 power overall. It's not terrible. His contact isn't ideal, but probably losing some bat speed. He's down to 6 defense. Are you kidding me? Wow. That's really bad. He's definitely the worst outfielder in the game now. Jeez. And he's in left field for them now. He's going to have a really interesting season. He's going to get on base a lot, but man. Oh, they have Pablo Sandoval at catcher. That's funny because he used to catch. But he's going to have such a weird WAR season because he's a terrible defender. But we will simulate until the playoffs begin. So here we are at the end of the season. The Giants were at the top of the National League West for a lot of the season, but they didn't end up making the playoffs at 80 and 74. Still trying to get Bonds his first ever World Series. He's not on any of the leaderboards, which isn't that surprising. He's kind of fallen off a little bit. But let's see where he is on the Giants. He's down to 5th in the order. Yeah, his defense is down to a 1. His power is down to 64. He's still got 100i. So we still got that going for him. So let's see what he did without further ado. Batting stats. Yeah, this is exactly kind of what I expected to happen. He walked 172 times. He's starting to strike out a lot. This was the most strikeouts he had in a year by far. But he had a 428 on base percentage. He only slugged 405, but man, he's still putting in work. 25 home runs, up to 865. in his career. He signed through the end of this year, so we'll simulate until the free agency. Well, first we'll simulate until playoffs end and see what happens with the playoffs, because I know a lot of you care about what happens in this historical sim. And the Rangers win the World Series. Who was on the Rangers this year? Chris Davis hit 45 bombs for him. I'm not going to check the awards because I know that Bonds didn't win any. Although, I mean, man, look at all the walk titles here. It's kind of crazy. So we'll go until the winter meetings end and see if Bonds is a free agent, if he's on a team, or if he's retired, which is definitely possible because he's getting old. If he went out on top with leading the National League in on-base percentage. So the Giants signed Barry Bonds to a 2-year, $42 million deal just 6 days before the sim happened. So he's, man, I really wish he signed with an American League team so he could DH. But he's going to be a 46-year-old playing in the outfield with, I mean, what is this? Where's his defense here? He's just terrible. He's just a terrible defender. And he hasn't even regressed yet. He'll regress. I'll send him to the beginning of the regular season and look at his ratings. But it's going to be bad. So we're back here on opening day. Barry Bonds still has 100 I and 69 power. Nice. His contact is the worst on the team. His gap power is the worst on the team. He's going to strike out a lot. But he's going to walk quite a bit. He only has 1 defense, which is terrible. They should really trade him. But he's still starting in right field. He's still their only right fielder on their roster. He's barely better than Austin Jackson. I'm a little nervous that they move him over to right field and take away some playing time. But another fun thing is that Mike Trout, it is 2011, and Mike Trout is on the Orioles. Because in this, his draft happened after we started this. So the draft happened differently than it did in real life, and he's on the Orioles. So that's some fun stuff. So we'll simulate the season and see what happens in Barry Bonds' age 46 season. So here we are at the end of the season. The Giants did make the playoffs at 99 and 63, getting the wild card. There was a 3-way tie for first place in the National League, and only 1 game better than the Giants. It'd been crazy if they won 100 as well. Mike Trout had 10 WAR for the Orioles and led the league in OPS and in stolen bases. So it looks like he'll probably win MVP, which is pretty crazy. He's a rookie. Some other things, Giancarlo Stanton is on the Reds, which is going to be very good for his home run hitting. And Ichiro is on the Rockies, which is going to be very good for his singles hitting. And Trout also had 336. What kind of year did he have? 336 batting average, 32 home runs, 67 total bases. I mean, this is possibly a better year than any year he's had in the majors in real life. And he only played 133 games. Maybe not, but I think if he played a full season, this would have been his best season yet. He was drafted number 1 overall. The reason that's like that is because his rating has his potential as he would end up in real life, and I guess teams can scout for potential, so they draft him higher than they did in real life in the redraft version. We can go to see Barry Bonds' numbers. He had 17 home runs. Let's see. So he played 154 games. He had only 84 hits. 17 home runs. He still had 152 walks. He only batted 176 and slugged 312. But he had a 375 on-base percentage, and his OPS plus was above average because he's a left-handed hitter in San Francisco, and because his on-base percentage was still pretty high. And he's still got one more year left. It's possible he gets to 900 home runs. He's only 18 away. He had 17 this past year. So we'll see what happens. But first we have the playoffs, which Barry Bonds is in. He has never won a World Series in his career. What if he wins his first one at age 47? Let's simulate until the playoffs end and the Rockies sweep them. Just kidding. Doesn't look like he'll win a World Series. And then the Rockies going to the World Series, they lose. Blew a 3-1 lead, it looked like, to the Rangers. Chris Davis and Manny Ramirez are both on that team. So that's and Elvis Andrus stole 52 bases for him. Pretty solid team. Let's simulate until the awards are announced. Not because I want to see if Barry Bonds won any awards, because I don't think he did. But I do want to see if Mike Trout ended up winning the MVP in his rookie year. I know he won Rookie of the Year. It'd be pretty crazy if he didn't. So we'll go to the news here and check out Stanton won it in the National League and Mike Trout won it in the American League. Very good stuff. So I want to see. So Bonds is employed right now by the Giants. Is he right now currently in the lineup? He is. Will he be in the lineup when the season starts? I don't know. So we'll simulate until the regular season begins. I know he has another year, so I'm not going to go to free agency. I'll just see if he's still on the Giants. So here we go. We're back with the Giants. Barry Bonds is hitting 6th now as the right fielder. He's getting kind of down there. He's not necessarily the best outfield option. He only has one defense still, 100 I, but even his power is down to 46. He's going to have a very interesting year. I don't even know if he might lose his job this year because there are a lot of competitive outfielders in this team. I'm going to go to their pitching. Tim Lincecum, Matt Cain, Jonathan Sanchez. They have a Aroldis Chapman. That's interesting. But, yeah, so we'll simulate the full season and see if Barry Bonds gets some good playing time or if this could be his last year in the majors. So we're at the end of the season, and the Giants actually won the division thanks to Tim Lincecum and Matt Cain, both finishing with ERAs under 2. I want to show you guys the Reds team really quick. Their lineup is kind of stacked. They have Joey Votto, Giancarlo Stanton, and Joe Mauer, and Jay Bruce, who had 44 homers, and Brandon Phillips. So, just want to show you that. I thought it was interesting. They're running a 3-man rotation for some reason, but whatever. So let's see, checking on our player, Barry Bonds. How did he do? Doesn't look like he's up here for any stats. Did he get playing time, or did he lose his spot? No, he did lose his spot. He only played 53 games, only started 9 games. He had a 475. This is just a bizarre stat line. He actually, I don't even know. Is this an improvement from last year? He got 100 points better in on-base percentage. But his slugging is down to 275. I mean, I said Barry Bonds I think could play till he's 50. But, I mean, this is how he'd be playing. He'd be a designated hitter who gets on base close to 40% to 50% of the time. Probably not 50%. I think this is more of a fluke due to 80 plate appearances. But he's probably at 40%. He's probably going to get on base 40% of the time. And, I mean, this is what will happen if you put 50-year-old Barry Bonds in the majors. 48-year-old to be exact. But they are in the playoffs. He still has 100 I. I think that's kind of funny. And his power is below average, but he can still do it. His speed is down to 7. He can still steal bases, which means that if he tries, he could probably be good. He's just not fast. His position ratings are terrible. But we'll simulate until the playoffs end to see if Barry Bonds can win a World Series. They're playing the Phillies in the first round. What's happening? They lose 3-1. Tough breaks. And the Brewers win the World Series. I think that's their first ever World Series, right? I don't know. Congratulations to the fake Brewers and Prince Fielder and Edwin Encarnacion. That's some boppers in that lineup. And Barry Bonds, there it is, has retired in following the 2012 season. So he retired after 2007 in real life. But thanks to the miracles of being able to revive players from retirement in this game, he was able to play 5 more years. Hit quite a few more home runs. He finished with 883. He finished with 762 in real life. His rate stats went down a little bit, but he reached the 3,000 walk club. He also reached the 3,000 hit club, which he didn't do in real life. In this game, he finished with 3,402. Finished with 143.1 more, which I don't think is right. But, yeah, that was his. We'll go to his history here. Look at all these awards he won. Yeah, some good stuff from that. I don't know if there's anything else I want to look at while I'm here. Oh, his fielding stats. That's what I want to look at. Can I look at his career stats? No, I can't. Dang. Oh, I can. I'm an idiot. So, yeah, he was basically one of the worst fielders in baseball, but he wasn't actually that bad. Only negative 20 runs on defense. I thought it would be a little bit worse, but hey, nope, I don't want to do that. But yeah, so he finishes, like I said, 883 home runs, 530 base hits. How many bases did he steal after 2007? 8, 11, 14, 16. So it's not like he wasn't at 500 stolen bases before then, but he does finish 883 career home runs, which I think is the key takeaway here. I really think he could have played more for an American League if he kept going. I mean, he still has 100 I still think he could. His powers are probably not good enough, but I think he could probably get to 900 home runs if I unretired him again. I'm not going to do that because this is when he probably would have. Well, it's hard to make assumptions, but the game is saying he would retire now, so that's when his player is actually retiring. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate the support on the YouTube channel. Definitely subscribe if you haven't. Comment some suggestions for videos you want to see because I'm running out of them because I'm going through these pretty quickly. And have a good rest of your weekend if you're watching this on Sunday when I put it out.